Dear friends of media representatives, we as Frontline Socialist Party summon this media briefing to announce that our fourth National Convention will be held on the 1st of March in Colombo. So the convention is hosted by Sugadasa Stadium at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And this convention is under the banner of empower the class and empower the party, because we know everybody expect from the new government that they will bring a strategy to develop the country in terms of economy and politically. But after 1.5 years of governance of NPP government, now all the expectations are shattered because of the economic policies, the political policies implemented by the NPP government. And at this crucial juncture, this is not going to be another single convention, but this is a very special convention. Why do I say that this is a very special convention? Because now, not only in Lanka, but also in the global arena, we can see that the economic collapse and how the imperialists react to this economic collapse, and how they are fighting each other, and what is the situation in the globe, and we are at the brink of a third world war. That is the reality we are facing at this moment. And I want to draw your attention towards another thing. Sri Lanka stands at a dangerous historical juncture. For the first time since 1948, the country is governed by a group, the JVP-NPP, that claims to be non-elite. But look at the reality. They have become the new administrators of the old elite agenda. Now they are following the same old elite agenda, even though they call them as non-elite. So there is a reality we should understand, because this is not a problem of non-elite or elite, but the elite agenda. The economic and political agenda is the main cause of this disastrous situation. Therefore, we expected a huge difference from the NPP government, because they are the representatives of the JVP-led NPP government are non-elite groups, non-elite individuals, but they are also following the same elite program what we have experienced in the past. The neoliberal economy, anti-democratic laws, PTA, Prevention of Terrorists Act. Now they are trying to implement a new PSTA, a new terrorism act. So therefore, we don't find any difference between the previous governments and the present. So the false hope that the government will eventually pivot to the people. The right-wing weaponization of the NPP's failures to claim that the left cannot govern. So now, what is happening? In one hand, some of the stratas of the people who supported this government back in 2024, they still believe that this government will do something for the favor of people. But it is not going to be happen. According to the 1.5 years experience, we have this experience, we know this reality. Now they are not going to change the old course. At the same time, on the other hand, from the right wing, they say the left is failed. They say the left is failed because the left cannot govern a country. In one hand, the leftist program has been failed, and on the other hand, they say the left cannot govern a country. They are inefficient. That is their message. So that is a huge obstacle for us. That is a huge obstacle for us and for Frontline Socialist Party, because we are on the way, on the path to build a socialist society. Therefore, we are introducing a new left program, a scientific program, how to eradicate inequality, how to bring down a just society. That is our objectives. That is our ultimate goals. But at the same time, the right-wing ideologists, they say that left has been failed. After governing the country, JVP-led NPP shows us that the left is inefficient. So that is a huge obstacle. So we have to fight against this ideology as well. So we are facing, in one hand, we are facing the neoliberal economy and political program led by JVP NPP government, and on the other hand, we face the ideological challenge, created by the right wing. The people rejected 76 years of UNP, SLFP and the offshoots, economic and political policies and the corruption to find an alternative to neoliberalism. Instead, the NPP has forced the public to swallow the poison of IMF while protecting the same crony capitalist thief circles. Javarankara Chaura, Dhanapati Panthi, Dhanapati Valal, that bankrupted us in 2022. In terms of democracy, if you think about democracy, the NPP government, the JP-led NPP party, they promised the people for 30 years to abolish executive presidency. You can remember, if I recall, the 1994 election, after the 17 years of UNP curse, Chandrika Kumaratunga led Pujanek Satperumna government was established back in 1994. Before the presidential election, JVP got the promise from Chandrika Bandaranaike to abolish executive presidency, because it has been an anti-democratic thing. Therefore, since 1994, the JVP has been fighting against this executive presidency, anti-democratic executive presidency. And every year in July, the JVP protested at the Lipton Circle. Every year in July, the JVP protested against the executive presidency. Abolish executive presidency, that was the slogan. But nowadays, what's happening after coming to power, the JVP-led NPP government, now they are comfortably wearing the suit of executive presidency, this anti-democratic executive presidency. That is the reality. So that is how they deal with democracy. As I said earlier, Prevention of Terrorism Act, it was introduced back in 1979. Since the beginning of this act, JVP and all other progressive elements, they emphasized to abolish PTA because it was an anti-democratic law. But nowadays, what's happening, after everybody expected, after coming to power, the JVP-led NPP government, they would repeal the PTA Act. But instead of repealing PTA, now they have brought another new PSTA. That is rather oppressive. That is a rather oppressive act, this PSTA. So that is the policy they are working on democracy. On education, I just want to draw your attention towards education. They are recycling, the JVP-led NPP government, they are recycling the same discriminatory reforms proposed by Gotabaya and Ranil. Legalizing inequality in our schools, because Gotabaya Rajapaksa tried to implement education reforms, at the same time Ranil Wickremesinghe followed Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and he also tried to implement these economic reforms. But now, the same economic reforms, you can't find much difference to Ranil Wickremesinghe's reforms. The same thing, the same reforms, now they are recycling the same discriminatory reforms proposed by Gotabaya and Ranil, legalizing inequality in our schools. So in terms of geopolitics, because JVP has been fighting against imperialism since its emergence. Back in 1960s, 70s, they fought against imperialism, Indian interventionism, and Indian expansionism. Since the emergence of JVP, it has been a long-lasted cry against imperialism. They fought against all sort of imperialist acts, not only in Lanka but also in the globe. Wherever the region the imperialist involved, JVP stood against it. That was the history of JVP. But the global, now what is happening right now? The global capitalist system is in a state of manic collapse. From the genocide in Gaza to the NATO-led proxy wars in Ukraine and the imperialist bullying of Venezuela. In the recent past, everybody knows that the elected president of Venezuela, Comrade Maduro, was kidnapped by the US forces. So that is a reality. What is the United Nations doing? What is the United Nations reaction on this act, on this undemocratic act? What is the United Nations reaction? We don't anything. We don't find anything, because that is the reality. But that is the reality of the imperialism right today. The world is being dragged to the doorstep of World War III. Where does Sri Lanka stand? Now, this is the most interesting thing, because now, as I earlier said, JVP was fighting against the imperialist acts during their past, but now have you heard any voice against United States imperialism or Israel? No, they have released 2 statements on Palestinian issue and Venezuelan issue as well, but they avoid to mention the names of Israel and US imperialism. That is the reality, because they don't want to fight against imperialism anymore. Now that is the reason why some of the political elements, they suspect now the Anandazanayaka-led NPP government is going to be a puppet of Indian authoritarian regime, and on the other hand, US imperialism. So we can find reasons for that. So what is our alternative program? So we think we are introducing a new left program, a modern left program for the future. Because now capitalism has been failed, and it is a failed project, not only in Lanka, but also all over the globe. As I said earlier, that is the reason why this inter-imperialist contradiction rising up to this much. So it is quite clear, the economic crisis is the main cause, the major reason for this anti-imperialist contradictions, these wars. Therefore, it is quite clear capitalism is no more a solution for the society, no more a solution for the oppressed masses, no more a solution for the Lankan oppressed masses, no more a solution for the masses around the world. So it is quite clear capitalism is not going to be a solution, but socialism is the only solution. But we should adopt a new left program. In this new left program, we should include a scientific plan. We have to deal with the global economic situation. We have to find the scientific work plan to work plan to develop economy. Therefore, we are going to introduce that program in our 4th National Convention on the 1st of March in Colombo. So finally, I just want to draw your attention, because now the people of Lanka, they expected a lot from the new government, as I said earlier. And in the past 76 years, they experienced the elite class bound parties, the capitalist parties, UNP, SLFP and other parties. They were the parties who governed the country and finally ended up in bankruptcy in 2022. That was the final result after governing these governments. But now after 2022, and especially in 2024 election, people expected a lot from the new government, NPP government. But now they are in a confused situation. Now they are confused because they had a lot of expectation from the new government, JVP-led NPP government. At the same time, they expected something new in terms of economy, something new in terms of democracy. But nothing happened throughout the last 1.5 months. So it is quite clear. Now the people are confused. They are asking questions. What can be a solution? What can be the solution? Who can give us the solution? Who can give us a solution? We believed in some of the names. We believed in Chandrika. We believed in Mahinda. We believed in Gotabaya. And finally we believed in a different person under Disanayaka and a different program introduced by JVP-led NPP. Now finally, now they have failed to bring democracy, economic development towards the society. Therefore, people are confused. They keep asking questions, what can be the solution? So, at the 4th National Convention, Frontline Socialist Party, we introduced a new program. So, you don't believe a party. You don't believe a party, you should believe yourself. You should organize yourself, because every 5 years you can't vote for a party and stay calm. You should active in politics. You should engage in politics. You should engage in politics continuously for the 5 years. Then only you can find your solution. So we, as Frontline Socialist Party, bring that program. We are introducing that program on the 1st of March at our convention. We put forward a program how to bring people's power, how to exercise people's power. So we are having that program to implement that people's power with the people. So we ask the people to believe in yourself, not a political party, not a person, but believe in yourself. We introduced that program, how to believe in yourself and how to engage in politics throughout the year. So that is our final message, and we urge everybody, especially the JVP members who has the conscience, the leftist conscience. We ask them, we urge them to join with us, because we know that you are confusing at this moment. You are confused at this moment because of the JVP-led NPP's policies. Therefore, earlier you sacrificed a lot. In the past, you labored a lot for the betterment of the society, for a socialist society, but every expectation has been failed after the experience of the JVP-led NPP government. Therefore, we urge you to join with us, and we all can build that socialist country, we can bring the socialist era again to the society, not only in Lanka but everywhere in the globe. So we believe that in the near future we can build that prosperous future for the people. Thank you very much.